for X's class. We're talking today about the word formula, which is the second word in week 1 of quarter 1, level 4. And formula has stress on the first syllable, 3 syllables, formula. And it's a noun, and it has 3 meanings. So 2 of them are specific to different subjects. And then there's another one that's more general. So first meaning here is in mathematics, in math, a series of letters, numbers, or symbols that represent a rule or law. So over here we have a sentence with definition 1. I usually write additional sentences. You don't have to copy them. You can copy them on a piece of paper if you want. They're not required. The one that's required to be on the back of your card is, I write that sentence on the back of your card, and that sentence on the back of your card is going to be related to English, somehow related to this subject, the subject of English. But I usually do 1 more sentence per meaning because, like for example, this is with mathematics. I can't really give an example with English about it. So I want to give one additional example per definition so that you understand all the definitions. So that's why I have more sentences sometimes, because they might not be about English. Does that make sense? So the first one here is about mathematics. This is an additional sentence for definition 1. The Pythagorean theorem is a formula. So if anybody's in geometry, you've probably heard of this. The Pythagorean theorem is a formula to calculate the length of the side of a triangle. And anybody know what it is? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And the c is the long side. I know that. It's been a while since I was in geometry.
Yes, it is.
Like A, B, and C, and that's how you calculate that. So that's a formula, because a formula is a series of letters. These are letters A, B, C. They represent a rule for how to calculate something in math. That's one meaning of formula. Okay, and then back over here, second definition, chemistry. Chemistry is, studying chemicals. So in chemistry, we study what are the parts of chemicals. Everything in the world is made up of elements. So, and then chemicals, compounds are what we sometimes call chemicals. Compounds, it's when you have different elements that come together to make something. Sometimes you can have a pure element, like gold is only gold, but water is a compound. Water has 2 elements in it, hydrogen and oxygen. So letters and numbers, so a formula in chemistry is letters and numbers that show the parts of a chemical compound. For example, the formula for water is H2O. So it's like the recipe, almost. You can think about it that way, como I said that, in chemistry. If you want to make some water, what do you need? I think you need you need a lot of energy, you may need other things, but at the end of the process of making water is you stick together some hydrogen and some oxygen, and you end up with little molecules that have 2 H's and 1 O stuck together. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom stuck together make 1 water molecule. So it's like the recipe in chemistry, basically. That's another meaning of formula. And third definition is not specific to one subject. It's any particular method of doing or achieving something. And it often includes the idea, like if you talk about the formula for something, it's like, if I do this, I will succeed. The formula, it's often used in that way, like you talk about the formula for success. That's not part of the definition here. But I guess you could say that's part of the connotation. That it's usually, if we use the word formula for this, it's like a quick way to solve your problem. Follow this recipe and you'll solve your problem. That's why this one says, the sentence on the back of your card, but there is not one formula for writing a successful novel, because successful novels can be different from each other. There isn't only one method of doing it. And then I have another sentence over here. Different teachers have different formulas for successful teaching. You can argue. Some people say, no, actually all teachers do the same thing. I don't know. But all successful teachers do the same thing. You can maybe argue that one. But formulas, methods of doing something, and it's often the idea of success. So how do you succeed as a teacher? Follow the formula for success. But that might be different from each teacher. Spanish, formula. Okay, word families, formulate. So 8 is an ending that usually means it makes a certain part of speech. Anybody have an idea? It is on your card, but I'm trying to make you figure it out to learn the endings. Name, you know?
D.
It's formulate is a verb. So ate is usually a verb. Ate is a verb ending. All right, how about shun? What part of speech is that? Noun. Noun. And that's a noun ending. That's very similar, not exactly the same, but that's a noun ending. And it's similar to sion in Spanish. Except in Spanish it has a C, and in English it has a T. But otherwise it's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing in Spanish. Well, a little tricky though sometimes, right? In English it's only a noun. In Spanish there are verbs that have that in there. So that's another thing. Don't be confused. Like in Spanish you can say solucionar. We never do that in English. So this ending in English is always for noun, never a verb. People get confused by that. So it's kind of like sion, but don't be confused. But it's a noun ending. So to formulate is like to make a formula. A formulation is like the process of making a formula. Reformulate. What's the part of speech of that? Verb, right? Because formulate is a verb. Reformulate is also a verb. What does re mean? It's a prefix. To do again, right? Again. So reformulate. We already had something, but we decided, no, we don't like that formula. Let's make a new formula. We need to, I don't know, the drug company decided to reformulate their medicine because there were too many side effects. Efectos secundarios. So they might reformulate a medicine to try to make it work better or something, to not have problems. And then this one, how about the part of speech of that? It's a noun, right? Shun is a noun in English, and re is again. So this is the process of making a new formula. So it goes back to that one, but it's the noun form of that. All right, so which sentence is on the back of your card? This one. And these are some more examples. And so who has questions about formula? There are no questions about formula? Thank you very much. Thanks for filming.